So for this tutorial, I'm just going to be doing on the spot, and it's just going to be a quick terrain tutorial. So I'm kind of just going to be showing how you do some nice terrain style in the jungle to start off, I guess would be the best. I'm going to make it brushed by default, and just a small map, that's fine. Press OK, and there's not going to be any triggers or any data editor stuff, but this might just be interesting for people to see how you can kind of pretty up your map. So go to Layer, Terrain, or press T, and let's say this map is not a melee map, or it's not a 2 versus 2 or 1 versus 1 and stuff like that. Let's say it's just like you need to do some kind of nice terrain area, and there's no real like real need for like strategic thought around it. The first thing I usually like to do is define the cliffs, because those are actually like going to affect the player movement the most. So oops, wrong cliff there. I'm going to go with organic for this tutorial. I'm just going to paint it. I like to paint like this and maybe do some little upper areas, some lower. I'm probably going to be doing some water and some waterfall too, just because it's a pretty cool effect you can make. Let's see, let's paint that up and paint there. Okay, and let's go to lower cliff. In the Starcraft 2 editor, it only lowers like very deep, as you can see. Doesn't doesn't have more levels than 1, 2, 3, and 4 here down below. So it's fine, but that's just the way it is. So I'm going to paint something like this. Leave a little crack in there, and I'm going to be doing water along this canal here. So right now it's just a barren little crevice, but we'll be fixing that. Okay, and after that, okay, I think I'll do water next. So make sure you click add water, otherwise it doesn't bring up this thing. For some reason it's just empty. And let's paint Belshire water, that's good. And let's paint it right along here. So you can see the water's coming in. It looks all nice. One thing I do have set so that it looks nice, I don't know if this happens to you guys, but when you first open the editor, under Preferences, Video, Match Game Settings, so I've turned this all up, and you can run a game in a window and stuff like that, but that's good to know, because originally my water was pretty ugly. So I turned that all up, and then you can see the water, this is pretty messed up, so you got to go to Edit Water, and since my starting height was 8 for my terrain, I'm going to make this 7, so my water is slightly below, and now the water is nice like that. And we can even make it lower if you like and do sort of a beach down there, but for now I'm just going to make it like it's pretty much a river filled up to the top. And let's do maybe a little bit of cliffs over here. Turn this size down a bit. Little bit of, oops, it's on lower cliff. Let's do a little raised cliff over here, kind of thing. I better make this a little bit bigger. And let's make this less squarish there. Okay. And a little peg. I want to put a little peg there. There we go. So you can imagine in a bigger map, this will just be a little side route, but I'm just doing a close-up sort of here for people to see how you kind of make this look nice. I've never really used foliage, but height is good. I'm going to go to paint texture first. Actually, I'm going to go to height first because sometimes it's good to paint height and then base your texturing around that. So, and I make fall off really wide generally, and speed medium, size is big, good. So I like to raise it around the edges a bit. I need to make the size a bit bigger. Okay, and raise the cliffs a bit. Okay, and maybe raise these. Okay, and let's lower here down this little pathway. And of course, let's smooth it out. Okay. And now I'm going to paint some texture. So the key I find to painting texture so far is that you do very smooth and light rather than very harsh. I mean, you don't want to be doing this very harsh thing. You kind of want to be doing it more like up here, you know, paint around kind of thing. in the divot here of this terrain. Yeah, there's a little hill here, so I'm going to paint around it. And maybe up here is going to be a pretty grassy area. It's going to be some trees up here. And sometimes it's good to place trees actually before you do the texturing, so then you can base your texturing around it. So for instance, you would go to layer, doodads, go to bell shear, and find tree bell shear. So, you know, put some up here, some there. And let's see, this tree might make a nice thing. I want to put a palm down by the edge of the river. No, no palms. Still no palm trees. Okay. There we go. There's a palm. Let's put one there. Oh, there's another one. That might look nice. Maybe one over here with another little tree. Put this here. Nice one by the water. Plants like to grow near water. Remember that. When you're texturing and putting doodads, and even I don't do this perfectly, it's good to think about the actual how it actually would be in real life. I mean, in real life, plants grow around water, plants grow together, that kind of thing. So when you think about that, it makes your map just look that much better. And even I don't do that. A lot of the times I just paint away, and after I'm like, oh, I don't really like how this looks, but you really just have to kind of play around and see. This is already starting to look quite a bit better. I think this needs, well, maybe I'll put something else there, but so you of course just paint a bunch of trees there outside the boundaries, etc. And you can't paint trees in this thing for some reason. I don't know why. It's like the super edge of the map. And let's go back to terraining, and let's paint some nice little, I like to paint some nice dirt patches around some trees sometimes. Give the impression kind of that there's some sand maybe. Yeah, don't have much more to say other than just watch what's kind of going on.